Hi, I'm John Chortel from Enjoying a Piece. I've just been out on a run. I'm kind of inspired to get on and share with you. Life's actually about experiencing our own love, being able to love other people and to be able to receive love from other people. So what happens along the way, we all pick up baggage. We all pick up something that gets in the way. Stuff happens. That's life. So the key is not to try and work on everything all at once, but to work on one thing at a time. So this is what I do. So I go, okay, so what do I need to work on next? It doesn't mean I work on it to 100% either. I give my 100% to it, but I may not work through until it's complete. And there's a reason for that. So how do I know what to work on? Well, probably the last thing that upset me. So someone did something and I got upset. So what I do is I say, okay, so how do I do what that person just did that upset me? You might go, well, I don't do that. Well, you do it somehow. So go looking for it. Don't say, I won't find anything because I don't do that, because you won't find anything. If you sincerely go looking for it, then what's going to happen is you'll find it. So what I do is, like an example, my wife used to leave little tea bags lying around, and it used to upset me. And when I thought, you know what, I obviously did it somehow or other, how do I do it? And I went looking, and within a couple of days I went, oh my gosh, there it is. I leave my shoe, or my shoes, where I take them off. It's the same thing. I'm leaving something laying around instead of putting it away and compacting it. It's the same thing. Hers was a tea bag, mine was the shoes. Now, she had said to me multiple times, could you mind picking up your shoes, putting them away? It never registered to me because I wasn't interested in fixing the problem. The moment I was interested in fixing the problem, I could see that what I did with the shoes was a problem. It was a problem for somebody else. But here's the thing. You make the change for yourself. You don't make it for somebody else. You don't make it for the people around you. You don't make it for the people you love. You don't do it for any of that. You do it for yourself, for your own peace of mind. Because if you don't clear those things out of the way, you don't get peace of mind because there's someone niggling at you. And then once you got over that thing, i.e. suppressed it, locked it away somewhere, the next thing pops up, and then all of a sudden the next thing gets in the way, and then before you know it, you're upset all over again. And that keeps happening for one thing after another. So, does that sound familiar to anybody? It certainly sounded familiar to me. So what I started to do is I started to tackle one thing at a time. So I look for it. When I found out what the thing is, I work on me changing that habit or that way of thinking or the way of operating or the way of behaving. I change that within myself. Now, don't give myself a hard time when I do it. I just notice it. I go, okay, great, there's that thing again. I go, I'm going to work harder at that next time. And I'm doing it consciously. I'm constantly being aware of not doing that thing, doing something else. Doing the positive thing, like I'm constantly aware of putting my shoes away. So if I see that I do it, I just pick them up and I pop them away somewhere where they belong. Now, I get to a certain point, I get, okay, so that'll do for the moment. And then I go, the next thing that upsets me about somebody, it could be anybody. It could be a workmate, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a loved one. Doesn't matter. Something upsets you, go, okay, great, so how do I do that? And sometimes they're a little tricky. So ask for help. So you might say to one of your friends, hey, so-and-so does such and such, and I'm looking for how I do that. Can you help me? They might try to be pleasing to you and say, oh, you don't do that, you know, da-da-da-da. Go find another friend who's willing to be honest with you and is willing to help you search it through. So when you found that person, you say, so how do I do that? And then I might say, actually, John, what you do is blah, 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 blah. And you go, oh my gosh, that's how I do it. Oh, crikey. So now you work on changing that. So as you start to change it, it might take a little while. Don't try and do it all at once. It might even be a small thing, great, do it all at once. But if it's something quite big and it upsets you a lot, it's going to take a little while to work through it, and that's perfectly okay. Don't feel like you have to do it all at once. So, you might get to a certain point, and then you want to work on the next thing, because the next thing's reared its head. Great, go work on the next thing. Come back to that other thing later. You don't ever have to worry about forgetting that other thing. You know why? Because at some point you'll get upset by it again. But watch how it's less. It may have been this much before. Now it's only this much that you're upset. You go, isn't that interesting? I used to be upset a lot. Now I'm only upset a little bit. That's perfect. That's how it works. That shows you that you're making progress. So If you don't finish it, it doesn't matter. Put it aside, work on the next thing. But don't try and work on too many things at once. It'll be too much. You'll be overwhelmed. That's actually called suffering. If you try to do it too fast, and if you try to do too many things at once, there's a word for that. It's called suffering. Don't do that. I used to do that. You don't have to do that. But if you want to, it's okay. You can do that. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm just wiping spider webs off me. I've been kind of running, walking around the yard, and I got spider webs on me. Found a little spider crawling on me before, but don't worry me anymore. That sort of thing used to freak me out. Okay, so then just work on the next thing that upsets you and notice it. Now, some of these things you might have to park for a little while because they're too upsetting. That's okay. Don't necessarily try to work it through while you're upset. Recognize you're upset, get over it, and then go looking for it. Because always it kind of gets a bit sticky, yucky. So anyway, I hope this has been of help to you, and I look forward to catching up with you next time.